Hey Taylor-tots, welcome to Justice is Served. I'm super excited to be able to take you around the world today. I don't know if it's all the way around, but we're going to Paris. Let's go! Hey Taylor-tots, so today's prompt video, okay, and by prompt I mean impromptu. I was scrolling through my photos and I came across some video and some pictures of when I went to Paris, France, not Paris, Texas, girl. And I wanted to just like give you the experience and kind of go through what we looked at and where we went, and about my amazing friends that actually took me there for my birthday. And I am so excited to share this with you. I have been waiting to see when I wanted to post about this and just really show even more of my friends. Any opportunity that I get, I really want to put them in videos because, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without my friends and my chosen family and my family, you know, taking me to different places and trying different things. And I have two friends that are Kyle and Cody, and they have a channel. I don't know if it's still active or not, but it's Two Gays on the Go, and it's two cute little penguins as their fabulous mascot. But they travel all the time. They are travel nurses, and they are such great friends. We ended up meeting years and years and years ago. I was performing at Club 322 in Montgomery, Alabama, and they came up and started talking. Well, they were cocktailed and I guess had some liquid courage and was like, "Girl, we want to be your drag daughter." And I was like, "All right, girl, let's hang out." When I tell you, it's like you can feel people's energy, and they have been nothing but supportive of me anytime I've needed help. I mean, they've been there through, girl, I was sleeping on the floor in a living room when we met, girl. I'm like, they've been there through all of it. And I will tell you that most of my experiences have been because of them, and because of them really taking me different places and giving me an opportunity that I would probably not have had, especially then. I mean, they've paid my way to New York. They've paid my way to go on vacations and things like that to really just get me out of, I guess, the country life of being poor, girl. I am excited to share this and just share just some funny pictures, and you know, you can get to know them as far as like along the journey of the video tonight. They are super sweet individuals, and when I tell you, like we have our eating dress on, we go and hit a buffet, girl. Or my favorite thing about them that is so funny is every time we go somewhere, we have to try the fast food restaurants in that area. So on this trip that I'm going to show you for Paris, we didn't just go to Paris. We actually went to Barcelona and Madrid as well. But I'm just going to show you the Paris trip because there was so much that happened in a 3-day time frame of just Paris itself. So the first thing about Paris that I learned is that you have to always be ready in the morning with your drink. I'm knocking stuff off my desk. If you can tell, this is what we drink in Paris. It's wine. You know, so wakey, wakey, girl. Absolutely. I am so that lady in the meme where you see her lick the side of her coffee cup. How many of you do that? I want to know, because I feel like such a weirdo when I do it, but I'm still going to do it anyway. I can't stand having the dripping of whatever you're drinking going down the side of your cup. So I'm always like real country over here. But so we ended up taking the flight. We flew Delta, and it was so funny because we get in there and we are sitting in different spots. I sit down, I'm super excited, and my damn TV doesn't even work, girl. The TV in the airplane does not work. And just so you know, I think it was like 8 or 9 hour flight. And I was like, honey, what in the world? And it didn't even have a charging thing for me to charge any of my electronics. So it was I was going to play on my phone for about 5 hot minutes and then had to turn it off. But when I tell you, my dream was to go to Paris, okay? I've always wanted to go to Paris ever since I've seen it in movies. And my friends knew this. And for my birthday, they were like, we're going to treat you to go. So I was so appreciative that they were giving me this opportunity. I mean, it was a dream come true. When I tell you, we had so much fun. And don't tell my partner Chris, but honey, them Frenchmen were gorgeous. I didn't do anything, of course, but they were beautiful. And I mean, it was like that accent. I mean, it's kind of like this. You could be ugly and have that French accent, girl. And I'm like, ooh. You know what it's like when somebody has a great cologne on and they smell nice and it just makes them look even more attractive because they smell great. That was totally that, because the accent got me down, honey. But the food, oh my gosh. Okay, so we tried a bunch of different things, and I know I already said that I loved going to the fast food restaurants there because it is so different. There's a different menu in every place. So like, even if you went to a McDonald's or a Burger King, there's something different every single place that you go to in the world. So you always have to try something different. And we ended up going, the first place was some little bistro while we were waiting for the Airbnb to be ready. So we ended up going there to eat. And when I tell you I got just a croissant and jelly and butter. When I tell you, they make the preserves every morning. So the jam and jelly is every single morning. I was in heaven. Like, I ended up ordering another one. And let me just tell you this, okay? If you haven't been to Paris before, they are very, very opposite of the United States. Let me just say this. So first off, they really do want you to, like, portion size is a big thing for them. So they really are like kind of appalled by the gluttony of the United States. And I'm so used to eating a bunch, I'm not gonna lie. But the food quality is completely different there than it is here. So there's not as many like fillers and all that crap that's in our food here. So when we ate there, I may not have had a big dish, but I was full for a lot longer than I would be here. And the food was so good, but like, when I ordered the second croissant, he was kind of like, and I remember just looking at me like, I don't need your soda. But of course, you know, I was speaking so fast and I'm so like the twang. And I remember I was like, girl, I need one of these to go. That is one thing they do not like you to do, is to get things to go. So like, if you're going to go have coffee, they want you to sit and drink your coffee. When I asked for a to-go coffee, they were like, what? The other thing that's really strange to me is the service. So the service is fantastic, but they do not bother you. So they do not come up and keep asking you if you need anything. You literally, they stay away from you until you do this or get their attention. Because again, they're really wanting you to enjoy your time there and not bother you, which I like, but at the same time I didn't like, because I was like, okay, girl, like, do I need to get up and walk inside this restaurant to get your attention? So the funny thing is, and I still to this day, have y'all ever been in a situation where you go, like, try on a shirt, or you go to fit in a car, and something is just not, like, it's not, like, you don't quite fit because you're too tall, or you're like me, you're too plus size. And like, to this day, when you think about that moment, that memory, you immediately can like feel yourself trying to get back in, like whether it be in the car or in those clothes or whatever it was. And I about died. Okay. So this Airbnb was super cute. It was like warm during the day, but it was July. Okay. So it was July. So my birthday is July 8th, just so all of you know. So it's coming on up. But we get there and it's a little warm for us, obviously, plus I'm plus size. So we're wearing shorts and tank tops. First off, they're all like, because they're wearing like coats and all bundled up. And I'm like, girl, it is hot. What are y'all doing? But I guess when you live there for so long, you end up getting used to it and you start getting like, I guess, acclimated to their weather. We were visiting, girl, so I was hot. So we get there and we immediately go to the Airbnb. I mean, I was not immediately. We go to the Airbnb. We're sitting there. The cool thing about it is it's a double-edged sword. So the reason why I said that it was hot during the day, it was actually really cold at night, which I was obsessed with because, girl, that's when we're going out and we're doing stuff. And we opened the window in the bedroom and the window in the living room. And so it made this airflow. So, like, we stayed chilled all night long. Like, better than, like, AC and having a fan on. And the thing that I loved about this place is, and about France in general, or not France just in general, but Europe, we'll say Europe, they do not have huge refrigerators. So that you go and actually are supposed to go buy your produce and your meat and all that stuff every single day. Like, you're supposed to go shopping every day and not have like a surplus in there. And it was hit or miss because, you know, we're from the US, girl. So we're over here like, can we go buy some sodas and some things so that way we're here, we're not having to keep going out. And there's just no room. I mean, the fridge was like the kind that you see in a hotel, like that. It's like a mini fridge almost. That's the size. And that part was cute. The part that was hilarious is that when we had to go take a shower, and I'm going to put up a picture of the shower. Girl, okay. When I tell you, I had to suck in and pull these girls like separate to get them as flat as possible to scoot inside. To scoot in sideways to get in this damn thing, okay? The shower opened like this, so it was like a corner, and then it closed back to a point. And girl, okay, the shower, okay? I'm 6'2", my friend Kyle, he is like 6'7", 6'8". And so, like, he's having to, like, squat down to get in, too. So he ends up just, like, he's like, I'm not about to do what you just did, girl. So I'm going to take the door off and put it back on. So every time he showered, he would take the door off, get in, and put it back on, girl. It was hilarious. But the funniest part is trying to sit down on the toilet there. I ain't never felt so big in my life. I was like, girl, I felt so big, okay? Trying to sit down, and my thighs are touching the wall and the shower at the same time of me sitting on this toilet. It still didn't make me want to eat less, I'm just saying. I was laughing so hard because I was the first one to go and use the bathroom, obviously. And I said, girl, I'm barely fitting in here. And it was so funny because this is at the point where I was like somewhat like thinner than what I am now because I was in that whole like I'm trying to lose weight, you know, mindset. And I mean, I wasn't even at my biggest, girl, and I was struggling, honey. And it was so funny because we didn't stay there all day. Obviously, we went out and we saw the sights and we went and tried different food and, you know, just there was a ton to do. There was a lot to do. We did not go to the Louvre because it was so touristy. And I was like, to be honest with you, we don't have a lot of time here. And they said, you know, do you want to see the Louvre? Because if you don't, then we have other things we can go do that like, because we're here for you. They've already been to Paris numerous times. So they were really just taking me to really give me the experience. And again, like making my dreams come true to even go. I mean, I was like, I could not even believe that we went. And I remember on one of the nights we ended up sitting on the waterway and we didn't go all the way up to the Eiffel Tower because they said, we'll go if you want. And I was like, no, I mean, it looks beautiful from here. We're in the waterway, we were chilling and we were heading to a bar. So we were just hanging out, got to see that. I was like, girl, I feel like Amelie over here about to get on a scooter and just go chase people around. I was like, girl. But the thing that I loved the absolute most, as far as adventure that we went to, was to go and see Versailles, okay? So Versailles, I don't know if you know this, or if you remember the commercials with J'adore. J'adore is a Dior fragrance, and it had Charlize Theron where she is in the Hall of Mirrors, and then she takes the necklace and throws it, and there's been many variations of where she's like, they say the only way out is up, and she climbs up out the top, and she's standing up looking over Paris. At least I think it's Paris in that part. But the Hall of Mirrors is so popular. Well, the thing is my friends Kyle and Cody said, on the way to Paris, I want you to watch the movie, I'm like Marie Antoinette. So Marie Antoinette, we want you to watch it because we're going to go to Versailles, and we want you to have seen a lot of this because you're going to start noticing things that were in the movie, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I remember seeing this, and it looks so different in person. So I'm so glad they made me do it because we ended up getting there in Versailles, and they're like, you know what, let's go through the palace, and the palace is so beautiful. We get to the Hall of Mirrors, and this is what I do. So we're in the place where I did my J'adore commercial,
I left a gown at home, of course, but just letting you know. Yes. No girls. Shout out to you. Girl. I started power walking in here and people got in my way, so I had to take the gown off and put it back in my backpack. I brought a spare. I know one's at the house and one's here, so. Ooh, girl, look at this. Wow. Find your lighting, Carol Ann. Find your lighting. This is done.
I felt like I was Charlize. I'm just telling you right now. The great thing is we went on a day that it wasn't that busy. Like, it wasn't crazy packed. They said usually you can't even walk. So I was like, let's take a little bit of this opportunity for me to have my own little strut to the song moment. And I was like, this palace is huge. I don't know if any of you have been to a palace, but it's so weird to think that people lived in them. And like, because I see them as like, we're going and walking and we're doing a tour through them, but to think people actually live there. Could you imagine waking up to that every single day? Like, that's a lot of rooms, girl. And that's a whole lot of walking. And that's a whole lot of building with no air. Just saying. And it wasn't that hot outside and people were smelling crazy already. So I can only imagine when it's 900 degrees of hell and there's no air in there and there's no windows open for airflow. No, ma'am, Pam. But we end up going out into the garden and the garden was stunning, but they were smart, okay? So Kyle and Cody, this is why I love traveling with them. They are so on point. They've done it. They know like how long this shit takes. And they're like, we ain't gonna do this, girl. We're gonna give you the VIP. So we ended up renting a golf cart and they knew how to make a big bitch happy because they got me this macaroon that was bigger than my hand. It was raspberry. And they put my big ass on the side and they said, let's go. So we literally are riding this golf cart through the gardens. And when you think I'm playing about how big this garden is, it is huge. And I don't know if you've seen Marie Antoinette before, but if you go watch the movie now, and then later on in the movie that he gives her own escape in the gardens. Okay, girl, she ain't close. She is not close. Her extra building, her extra home, plus the ballroom that he built next to it, she's far, girl. She is far. And it was so cool to get out there and to see so many different things. But I was like, I could not imagine walking this. This is so much. I would be dying. And they said the other part is you're not going to see everything because of how much time you have to be there. You're not going to see it. You're going to end up running out of time before you even get to see the entire gardens. So, like, again, they were smart. So we ended up going and seeing all the different things and going into the house, her second home, to where you can actually see, like, her private quarters and all that stuff. The thing that was super cute is they had the main rooms still staged as if it, like, she was still living there. And it was really weird. When I tell you, like, busy, the print on top of print on top of print, I was like, honey, how many patterns are you gonna do, honey? How many more patterns? How many more patterns? And I was like, whoever their designer girl was struggling. But the funny part is going out and seeing so many different people going to see the same thing and to see it in person is so surreal. And we're going to go into later on, like, with Barcelona and Madrid. We'll go into those at another video. But I don't think you guys understand. When you dream of going somewhere for so long and then you finally get to go, it's like you're just, like, numb. You're like, I don't even know how to take this in right now. This is just so much. I was in love. I was in love. But it was so funny because before we... after we got finished with there, we had another day and we were, like, walking around. They said, what else do you want to see? And so, you know, we ended up going to Notre Dame, and that was before the fire and where, you know, they had to rebuild and all that kind of stuff. So we got to see it, the original Notre Dame. And we didn't go inside because it was just so, the line was ridiculous. I mean, the line was so far, but we ended up walking everywhere. I mean, we walked so many different places, went to so many different shops. And the funny thing is Kyle is fluent in Spanish. But when I tell you, he is one of the most talented people that I know when it comes to talking in other languages. He picks up different languages so fast, it's not even funny. I've heard him, obviously he was speaking not fluent French, but he understood a lot of what they were saying. But he even was like, you know, speaking some of it to get us where we needed to go, which is so cool. He was telling me, he's like, girl, y'all got to get comfortable and confident to at least try, because they appreciate when you at least try to speak their language. And I was going to order a 3 cheese, like Danish or something. And I'm literally like, I walk up and I was like, can I get a 3 fromage? And he's like, what? And he goes, girl, I know you're nervous to say it, but just say it. And I was like, 3 fromage. But he makes fun of me because he was like, girl, you whispered it to him because you were so unsure of how to say it. And I was like, you know what? You are so right. I was nervous to say it because even when we got to Madrid, and Barcelona, I would not even say like hola or anything like that because I feel like I say it so country and I'm not fluent in it. So I feel like when I'm trying to say it, it's like a struggle bus down. The other part is when I walk up and I'm like, I try and say hello in their language. I feel that they immediately start talking to me in Spanish or in French. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I feel rude because I'm like, well, I started it, girl. But I mean, he's so talented. I mean, we've even heard him speak Mandarin before, girl. Like he finds out. And the thing is, we go into a nail salon and he's made some friends on his travel nursing assignments to where he's learned a few things, and we go get our nails done, girl, and he'll start speaking to them because they don't think that we understand anything that they're saying. And honey, he reads them down, and I'm like, oh, especially with Spanish. Sidebar real quick. When we went on a cruise before, and these are a ton of different stories we're gonna go through for another time, but we literally we went somewhere where they were speaking Spanish and they didn't think anybody spoke Spanish. Well, he is fluent in Spanish. He originally wanted to be a Spanish teacher way back in the day before he became a nurse. And he literally was clocking them down because they literally were like bad mouthing us when we walked in, pretty much like, oh, they're not gonna buy anything anyway. And he turned around and read them to the carpet, girl. And when I tell you that face crack of the century was everything, I wish I could have recorded it. But anyway, so back to Paris, okay? You absolutely have to go. It's not their favorite place to visit. I know they like it, but it's not something that they love. But I was in love. I just think the whole aesthetic of Paris in general is beautiful. I would like to go like work-wise, like to go and visit work-wise, like to go there and do something with Dior because I would dress up like I normally dress. I think the main thing is because they were looking at us because we're not dressed up. We're on vacation. We're trying to relax. We're trying to enjoy. We're trying to be comfortable. And they really expect for you to dress, not necessarily to the nines, but dress comparable to what they do. And they just, it comes off snooty and stuck up, but I get it. It's almost like if you came here to Texas in July and it's 900 degrees of hell and you're wearing like a scarf and a wrap and, you know, a toboggan and all kind of stuff. And you're like, what in the world are you doing? So it was the same thing. Like, I get it. But the food quality is so fantastic. I mean, we went to McDonald's at one point and I didn't even look and I didn't unclick something. Girl, and Beats headphones, no, not Beats headphones, but headphones that look like Beats, but the McDonald's brand came out. And I was like, what is this giant box, girl? All I got was like, I don't even remember what I ordered. But I was like, this is crazy as hell. But one night we went to eat and they said, where do you want to go? And I said, I don't care. Let's just walk and see where the busiest place is here. And let's stop and eat there. So we did. We stopped and I don't remember what I ordered. It was like a burger of some sort, like super plain Jane, girl. I know you're about to drag me in the comments about that. But I wanted to see what it tasted like there because I know when we go to a restaurant here, we know what a burger is. There, I'm not saying that the burger is going to taste like wildly different, but you got to think the way that they get their produce and all that stuff is completely different than us. I'm saying produce. Is produce part of meat too, girl? I don't know. You can tell I don't shop for groceries for real, honey. I order water and Diet Coke. Um, but the food was so good, and we ended up switching dinners because they ordered, I don't know what it was called. They said beef bourguignon or something like that, and we switched. They didn't like that it was like super sweet, but I loved it, girl. I tore it up. It was amazing. Oh, because Rich always wants to talk about this. Let's take a sip real quick for Rich. Let's take a sip for Rich Lux. Wakey, wakey, Rich Lux. Here we go. Uh-huh. Now lick it. Uh-huh. I know, it's so weird. But, okay. Rich is always telling me that I need to see Moulin Rouge in New York City on Broadway. So I got the full effect of Moulin Rouge in Paris. And I will tell you, I was so pumped to see this show. And I think it's because I watched the movie with Nicole Kidman. And what I was expecting, I have no clue. I guess I was expecting singing and like the whole, I guess, movie just live. So that's my fault. But we're in there watching, and these chairs are so damn small, for one. So all three of us are big bitches. So we're just sitting here just chilling, girl. And so we all order a cocktail, and the show starts. All I gotta say, girl, is it is literally like, all you see is the girls out the entire time. Now, I will tell you the one part that was really cool is when they had that lady swimming in the pool that like comes out of the floor out of nowhere, and she has this giant yellow boa constrictor swimming with her. It looked like a freaking anaconda. That was cool. But I didn't really see anything like wow factor of it. I was actually kind of like, it was cool to see and experience it. And the area that it's in, it's kind of like their red light district, if you catch my drift. And I mean, it was pretty. The costumes were pretty. I mean, what there was of a costume with the girls hanging out nonstop. But it was fun to experience with my friends to say that we went. But I wasn't wowed. I wasn't in love with it. And so when Rich was like, oh, you got to see Moulin Rouge. I'm like, girl, I saw it in Paris. He's like, no, you need to see it here. You need to see it in New York. You need to blah, blah. And I was like, ugh, fine, girl. Eventually we'll go see it. But, I mean, there was just so much going on in Paris in such a small amount of time. I will tell you. So we went to Louis Vuitton, okay? And I can talk about this is because I'm part of LVMH. So Louis Vuitton in Paris is a flagship store. So when you go in, there is a long line of people. We always seem to miss the line, so we didn't have to stand in the line at all. We ended up just walking up and going straight in, which was great. But I will tell you, the only people that were nice in that Louis Vuitton was a guy that actually had moved to Paris from New York. He was the only one that spoke to us out of the entire place, which is so crazy. And, I mean, it's swamped. Let me just get real with you. Let me put it in perspective for you. It is packed. Because you got to think, when people go to Paris, you want to buy things that are made in Paris. You know what I mean? So that is one thing that people go to is Louis Vuitton. So the store is absolutely beautiful. It is stunning. But you can tell they do not make commission. Because the service, like if you are with somebody, they will give you service. But if you are not like specifically their customer, honey, I ain't even worried about talking to you at all. But I will tell you, it's because the tourist, it is like, if you're not ready to buy right now, they have about 19 other people standing in line outside that's about to drop thousands and thousands of dollars just for the experience of buying it in Paris. Now, the really cool thing is when you were in Paris, if you purchased in their flagship store, they would do where they would stamp your lettering in. They could also put a couple different things in there, depending on what you purchase, obviously, because it has to have the room and the type of, I guess, material for it to stamp on. But there's a spot up in that room where they do it that's complimentary, that if you stand just right, it's a half view up, but there's a mirror all the way up. So when you hold your phone just right, it looks like a full dome. It's really cool. It's really nifty. But I will tell you that I ended up not purchasing there. We ended up going to Barcelona, and that's where I ended up purchasing my Louis Vuitton that was stolen from the movers when we moved to Houston. Whole another story for another time. But, yes, I said stolen, from Allied Van Lines. You can go and attack them now. Thank you. So the funny thing is we went to 30 Avenue Montaigne. So if you don't know what that means, okay, and it has no meaning to you at all, that is actually where Christian Dior started his maison. So it's 30 Avenue Montaigne, and when you go to 30 Avenue Montaigne, you walk out of a corner, and then there is the men's shop, and then there is I don't know if the kids is over there too, but I know for sure there's the jewelry area, so fine jewelry. So if you go into a Dior boutique, I think it's considered costume jewelry, so like the tribal earrings and things like that. But then they have their fine jewelry, which is like the diamonds and all that kind of stuff that looks like the flowers. It is beautiful. I'm going to tell you, my obsession is the tribal earrings. They are my favorite thing I think I've ever seen when it comes to jewelry. My favorite of the tribal earrings are the ones that are like neon, or the ones that have the dangles on them. The cool thing about the tribal earrings that a lot of people don't think about is buy 2 different sets and then mix match the pearls or whatever the tribal earring is for colors, so that way you're customizing. So then instead of you just having 2 pair of earrings, you have like 5 or 6 pairs of earrings, because technically you can change the look of them or have them crisscrossing or whatever it may be as far as the colors go. But I was excited because there was a lot of things that we came in, like there's a men's collection in Dior that I didn't even know that we had, that's exclusive to Europe. The lipsticks that we have the lipsticks that we have here only for holiday, and the gold packaging is there year round. The shades are not in the US, but the packaging we only get during the holidays. So it was really cool to know that you could go there at any given time and get it. The shades changed, I want to say. I was trying to ask a few questions, but they were really busy, so I wasn't able to actually like have full-blown conversation. They had a few fragrances that were exclusive there. I mean, it was really cool. It was really nifty to see it. They had this beautiful staircase that goes up. The entire wall is nothing but TV, so the entire fashion show is like playing while you're walking up. Like, I just get chills thinking about it. The men's area, I ended up purchasing a men's poche that was also stolen from Allied Van Lines. And it was a navy calf skin. It was beautiful. We went into the jewelry area, but I'm not a huge jewelry fan in the sense of like buying diamonds and things like that. I like diamonds, don't get me wrong, girls, if you ever want to send me some. But the area itself is really cool to experience. And then there's a ton of different brands when you're walking like other directions, like all the high-end areas are really cool to see. But the reason why I wanted to tell this story is because I was scrolling through, and the one thing, yes, we remember the location and we remember some of the activities that we did, but the main thing that I remember is how much my friends really cared about me to give me something that I couldn't give myself. And this is a really big deal because not everybody can experience things, whether it be something small or something as lavish as this. And for them to, love me so much, to be able to take me and let me experience something that they knew I could not afford myself was so, I didn't tell them, but I cried numerous times leading up to it. And there was a couple of times when we would get back and they were already asleep that I would just reflect on the day and I would get emotional because it's just such a big deal. And I don't know many people that can say they have friends that truly appreciate them that way. And it's not saying that if your friends don't take you on trips that they don't appreciate you, but I've never seen somebody being so generous. And I really appreciate them so much. Their friendship means so much to me. I have a ton of other friends that have done so much to me. So many people that, over the time of me filming, you're going to get to know. I have so many best friends. We have Steven. We have Joey. We have Aaliyah. We have so many different people. We have Matt. We have Ryan. Michael. There's so many people. Genre. The trio. You have no idea. There's so many people that have touched my life that I haven't even started to talk about, but they're going to come out eventually. So just know, staying on my channel, we'll eventually get to meeting some of these people. Some will be just through pictures and video on here, and some will be possibly on camera. You never know. I've been trying to think of some different collabs to do with individuals that either have a social media presence or don't have a social media presence, but just for you to really get to know, because everybody starts somewhere. And in my channel right now, I have 1,400 subscribers, and it's only growing, was 1,462. I lost 2 today for some reason. It was so strange. But as we go, you're going to get to know me and get to know my friends and my family and friends that I call family. And it's one of those things that when you have people in your life that have really taken the time to be there for you, be there for them. And being there for them doesn't mean you need to say, oh my gosh, I miss you, or why don't you ever call me? Girl, we're adults. We all work. And there is so much going on in life that your life seems crazy. Well, imagine what their life is like as well. And then y'all are all trying to just connect. But true friends can not talk for years. And then when they finally talk again, it's like they've not skipped a beat. And these are people that I've, like, just a small fraction of people that I've listed that are that way. And we don't get offended when we don't talk to each other. We know we're busy, and we know that there is life going on. But when we actually get to talk, it's like we've not skipped a beat because we're family. That's how it is. But I mean, there is so many, so many stories that's going to come out eventually. As talking about these friends and introducing my friends to all of you fabulous Taylor-tots, and you are now my family as well. So you are in for a wild ride, because I know I seem very quiet and subdued, but there is a lot of shit that has happened over the years. Fun or crazy, or uplifting or shitty. I mean, there's just a lot. So just know we're just getting started with this channel. It's not always going to be just me talking about myself. Girl, who are we kidding? I'm always going to be talking about myself, but sometimes I'll put on makeup while I do it. But you know what? I just wanted to say, Kyle and Cody, I know you're going to be watching this, but I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. I am so appreciative of your friendship and this opportunity that you gave me to make my dreams come true, to go to Paris. And of course, I'm going to start talking about Barcelona and Madrid later on, girl. And there is many points of reference, as you call it, Kyle, that is going to be popping up in the thread. And the funny thing is when you see it and I say point of reference, Kyle used to throw shade thinking, and he's going to say, I was one throwing shade, but I wasn't throwing shade, girl. I take a picture because I want to take pictures, because Kyle is not one to always take photos, okay? So the rest of us do it, so that way we at least have one memory of what we were doing. Because most of the time he's making us drink. And and before I forget, Miss Becky, I love you so much. Love you so much, Miss Becky. Miss Becky is his grandmother. She is the sweetest woman I have ever met in my life, okay? Down! And makes the best jalapeno poppers you will ever have in your mouth. Girl, comes from her garden for 1. 2, she writes bacon on it. And 3, there's cream cheese. Do I need to say more? Anyway, back to the topic. So I would take a picture, and it would be so that I can make sure he's in the photo too. And he goes, if you don't stop taking photos like that and making this a point of reference where you look thinner than me, I'm going to smack the shit out of you. And I was like, girl, I am not. I'm trying to get photos so that we have some, girl. Ugh, I cannot. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, because you know what? I'm going to go drink the rest of my coffee. One more sip, yeah? Here. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to put that up while I'm taking my sip. That one. Instagram. Yep. Oh, the last one I'll play at the end. Hang on. All right. I love you so much. Have an amazing afternoon. Thank you for joining me on another day. And just so that you know, today is Tuesday. And if you haven't already went to VE Makeup on YouTube to watch our collab of Get Ready With Me, please make sure you go like, share, and subscribe her video. Comment on there and say, came from Justice's page, to watch your fabulous collab. She is an amazing person, okay? But we beat this mug down. And when I tell you, I wish I could have watched her, because she has some tips and tricks that I didn't get to learn. So that's why I'm going to watch the video too. But make sure you go and watch there. And then tomorrow on Wednesday, I'm going to be posting the Get to Know Me with VE Makeup. All right, I love you so much. Try not to burp, sorry. All right, again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I love you so much. Thank you again, Taylor-tots. If you want my merch, girl, she's down in the description. But thank you for joining me every single day, for justice is served. Mwah!